Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
By the way, Blue Jays uniforms,
So good.
all of them, the powder blues, the grays, the whites, pant stripes.
So good.
All of our guests today, including Ian Furness, KJR, brought to you by the Waddling Dog Pub, one of Victoria's favorite local watering holes, located 10 minutes from the ferry terminal. The two-time #1 pub in Victoria invites you to see why they're a go-to watering hole. Catch every Canucks, Lions, and Seahawks game, Whitecaps do, games on one of their 17 TVs, and swing by their attached liquor store and pick up your Donnie and Dolly swag, including hats and T-shirts. Countless reasons to come, sit and stay at the Waddling Dog. Mariners in the playoffs. Seahawks are 2-2.
Oh.
All teams in that division, the NFC West, are 2-2. They beat Detroit 48-45. Here to talk about that. Kraken as well, doing well in the preseason, although they had a tough time in Calgary last night. Ian Furness from KJR Sports Radio in Seattle. How are you, sir?
Couldn't be better, Donnie. Couldn't be better. Tired, though. A little tired. Just got back from Detroit yesterday, so we're just kind of, I guess, the Waddling Dog on Fox 13 on Sunday at 10 a.m. We'll have the Seahawks and Saints, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Seahawks, let's stay with Detroit here. Seahawks over the Lions. I know it wasn't perfect. Way too much offense, I'm sure, from a Detroit point of view, as far as Pete Carroll is concerned. Is the W the bottom line, though?
It is, but it also, listen, you can win. That is the most important thing in any sport, but it's not like that game wasn't without its blemishes and maybe some red flags, right, with Seattle. That defense is just it's awful. The only thing that saved them in that game is the defense they were playing against is slightly worse. I mean, I can't imagine there's two worse defenses in the NFL than what we saw on Sunday. Last team with the ball was going to win. If they played another quarter, who knows what would have happened. I mean, in the end, Detroit's offense outscored Seattle's offense. The difference was Tariq Woolen's pick six to start the second half. So they've got a lot of problems, and and guys, you know what's weird about it? They're surprising problems. Like sometimes you go into a season and you guys are handicapping every NHL team right now going into the season. You can say, okay, well, these are the problems, and this is where it's going to be an issue. I don't think anybody saw the linebackers Barton and Brooks being as bad as they are. They tried to set up a defense with two guys on the edge in Nwosu and Taylor. Taylor has been an absolute disaster. Guy coming off 6.5 sacks in last season, what was effectively his rookie year. He's just been a non-factor, a zero. In fact, he's been a liability out there. So there's things that they didn't foresee happening that they missed on defensively. On this other side of the football, nobody thought Geno Smith was going to be as good as he's been.
Yeah. What do you make of that, Ian? Geno Smith, 4 games in, his numbers are better than Russell Wilson's.
If you were to ask today, especially based on what the contracts would be, who would you rather have? I'd say Geno. And here's the interesting part, fellas. This is I think a lot of us that cover the team were in the same boat, and that we kind of had a raised eyebrow and kind of the negative feel and kind of the cynical outlook when we heard how popular Geno was in the locker room and how much it meant, how much these guys would rally around Geno and all those little intangibles. But I'll be honest with you, man, after talking to guys in Detroit on Sunday, it makes a difference. And I think it underscores that Russell had maybe in some ways worn out his welcome, not just in the organization, with coaches and management, but maybe with the locker room as well. These guys really like Geno, but more importantly, they respect Geno. And I think when you're playing, guys in the huddle and you're playing for a guy, I think there is something to that. Mm-hmm. It's the movie Draft Day. Remember, is anybody going to go to his birthday party, right? I don't know if anybody's going to Russ's birthday party. I think he had one or two guys. I think he had Tyler Lockett. Maybe one of the guys went to his wedding, for goodness sakes, to Sierra. So I think that Geno Smith, look, he's not your long-term quarterback. And let's first of all make sure we know that, right? He's not your long-term Seahawks quarterback. But in the interim, he's been pretty good. He's been effective. And I think if nothing else, with all the draft picks you have next year, you draft, and they have to draft a quarterback. Let me be very clear about that, because I know people say, Furness is saying that Geno Smith's the guy. No. You need to draft a quarterback. But you can draft a quarterback next year and also maybe pull the old Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes thing and maybe ease him into the NFL as opposed to throwing him into the fire. And I think that's an important step because they've got, as I just mentioned, a lot of other holes to fill as well.
Ian, lots of reaction in our Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox yesterday from the Seattle Kraken mascot. Ryan, can you get it up? Your thoughts, the background.
Let's go. Get it up.
Let's go. It's up. What do you think, Bell? What do you think?
Buoy.
Man, don't make me go down this road, fellas. Please, come on.
Your thoughts. Your thoughts.
No, I don't have any thoughts. It's a mascot. Please don't make me do this. I've got to work with these guys. Come on.
Down. Thank you.
We're on TV, right?
Yes.
How about if I tell you this?
Yeah.
It has been widely not only panned but mocked and ridiculed in our city.
There you go.
But by people our age, Ian, or by kids? Because we're not the target audience. We make this point all the time when it comes to mascots.
Right. Yeah, and I know, Donnie, you're big into, like uniforms. I know the no stripes thing has got you up in an uproar and things like that. I mean, man, I know those are the things that drive you nuts. But here, I would always counter with, there's that fine line between, who you're marketing to, but who also is your consumer, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know many 12-year-olds. Heck, I don't know a 12-year-old that would like that thing anyway. But I don't know how many young kids have a checking or nobody has a checking account. Well, has a debit card or a credit card these days and is buying tickets. And I don't know. I don't know. It feels as if, and this is just, I'm gonna just give you the lay of the land and how the room feels right now. It feels as if it was a miss.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Kraken, they do a lot of things well.
Hey, what do you guys think?
It's frightening. That's what I think. If I was a kid, I would be scared of that thing, like Santa Claus in the mall.
My buddy Jason Puckett, who does the radio show before me, called it a homeless troll. And, and our city's got a lot of issues, and those two words going together just sums it all up right there.
Yeah,
so.
well, we can't relate to that up here. Hey,
not at all.
And we've talked about this in the past, how, you do a talk show on the radio, you're on television, all of that, and, the Mariners get shuffled aside a lot in favor of the Seahawks. It's
right.
overwhelming. Where are the Mariners right now in the Seattle sports hierarchy?
Above the fold in the newspaper land, top of mind. They're running the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're running the show. It's
good.
In fact, I do a Washington State football roundtable segment on Tuesdays, and normally we go like 20 minutes. We do a couple segments, and we talk a lot of college football, not just Wazoo. We shortened it up today. We've got everything we're doing right now is based around something we really are not used to at all, and that's October baseball that matters. Yeah. It's. I can tell you this, guys, on Friday night when Cal Raleigh hit the home run to clinch the playoff spot, and the playoffs were a foregone conclusion, it was one of those memorable, magical moments in Seattle sports history that will live on forever. Now, they've got work to do, and more than likely they're going to go take on the Canadian national team, the Toronto Blue Jays. So, I don't know if we're friends next week or not, but, the 3-game series, it looks there's a chance they could go to Cleveland, but more than likely it looks like Toronto, although – based on what they're doing with their rotation, they've got a doubleheader today, and they finish off tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah,
it looks kind of like they want to just finish in that last spot and go to Cleveland. I mean, they're starting Chris Flexen in a bullpen day in the doubleheader today, and I dare say they're gonna. I don't know what they'll do tomorrow. I'll probably call up Justice Sheffield from the minors or the taxi squad. So I kind of feel they would never say this, but it feels as if they'd rather see Cleveland than Toronto, but. I don't know. It's going to be fun. I mean, I just hope it lasts more than 3 games. The downside, fellas, is this. We don't have a home game right now in Seattle.
And you wait all that time, no home game.
And you can relate to that. I mean, if you have to get to the next round for people that know, the wild card is a best of 3, but all 3 games are in the higher seed. So that would be Toronto or Cleveland right now for Seattle. So they need to get to the divisional round to get a playoff game at home. And I hope they do because T-Mobile Park has been electric. It has been absolutely unreal the last few months.
You are very familiar with Canada. Your mom's Canadian, if I'm not mistaken.
Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, Nelson, British Columbia. Yep.
Well, that's as Canadian as it gets.
Yep.
You know the story. That not everybody in Vancouver is pulling for Toronto. In fact, I would argue that maybe at least half the sports fans in this town will be pulling for the Mariners. We're tired of Toronto.
Well, I thought so too, but I see that like Toronto, the Raptors have like a daily radio show in Vancouver
Oh,
now, and, I mean, I see all kinds of stuff going on there. So I mean, I kind of feel like
Nelly.
I feel like when I talk to you guys, it's the only show that is BC centric that understands what British Columbians and Western Canada is all about, right? Yeah. I mean, I listen. I feel your pain with the Toronto stuff. You know, I turn on ESPN down here, and I'm watching their NFL coverage in the NFC West. Where, by the way, the defending Super Bowl champions, LA Rams, and wait for it, Los Angeles reside. You wouldn't even know they exist. It's Giants and Dallas, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So we, the Yankees might be the only baseball team not named the Cardinals or the Cubs in the states. You know, I mean, it's just we feel your pain out there. So I'm glad you guys are on our side and rooting for not the evil empire out of Toronto, but indeed here in Seattle. So
you can use this on your show whenever they refer to the Raptors, the people in Toronto. Whenever they refer to the Raptors or the Jays as Canada's team, you don't judge a fan base when a team is winning or winning championships. You judge a fan base when a team is losing. Nobody cares about them when they're winning. Okay, you'd watch anyway, no matter who was in the World Series or the playoffs. It's when they're losing. Use that, Ian.
So I will use that. And again, so you guys are not doing a daily Raptor segment on your show then?
No, that's not us.
No Raptors talk here. No Raptors talk here. But you can find it. But you can find it in the market.
I won't look for it, but I won't. Just try to get those pants fixed, Donnie, for the Canucks.
Yes,
all right.
I'm working on it right now.
I mean, in all the world's ills, I think that has to be near the top of the priority list right now.
I've got myself a Singer sewing machine. I'm on it. Ian, thanks for this.
You would say they're not going for your. They don't want your money anyway. Much like the troll that they just had the buoy thing. So
next week. Thanks, Ian.
See you.
Appreciate
boys.
it.